Antarctica. Apparently, there are underground bases in Antarctica, possibly UFOs and pyramids. Is that all? No. Stay tuned and find out why.
Welcome to Second Earth Alternative. This is Felipe Osario. All right, what an episode we have today. Antarctica, mysterious Antarctica. Let me tell you guys, we have a ton of discoveries today, and this should be a really fun episode because I'm going to actually be putting coordinates up here that you guys can follow with Google Earth, as well as updated links. So basically all the information is going to be at your hands, and I'm actually kind of need you guys' help to at least interpret some of this footage. I know I wouldn't put this out there if I didn't think it was something extraordinary, but I would love to get geologists involved, archaeologists, people who have more knowledge towards this, to just kind of contribute and possibly, put your message, you can either email me at eafiles.contact@gmail.com or just, message in the bottom and we can start a discussion. So basically what I wanted to talk to you guys about is this possibility of there being a fort, or at least remnants of human civilization underneath the ice cover. Recently, Secure Team 10 they broke a story regarding this Moat and Bailey type fort that might have been discovered under the ice covers of Antarctica. Now, this story has actually been going around all over the internet to all kinds of publications, including Express from the UK, Daily Mail from the UK, Earth.com, as well as IFLScience.com. And it's a really, really interesting story. But let me also say that Secure Team 10 does a lot of legwork for the UFO community. They put a lot of good stuff, and they've broken a lot of major stories. It's just that this particular story, I'm not 100% certain that what they're depicting is really remnants of a human civilization. If it is, then we, Second Earth, have discovered not just a second fort, but possibly entire city of forts. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So if we go over here to Google Earth, we're gonna go and check out the first fort, which is the one that Secure Team 10 broke, the story that they broke. And I just wanted to give you guys, just to look at it, and just so you guys can kind of get an impression of whether you believe this is something that is artificial or natural. So if this is real, I want to show you guys another fort that we may have discovered. And this is kind of cool, actually. Let me show you. And once again, the coordinates are going to be right over here. So just if you want to go through Google Earth and check it out yourself, check this out, guys. How amazing. I mean, if you look at this, you see that it has the exact same geometry as the previous fort. But beyond that, you see that there's the entire outline over here, as if it's protecting all this landmass from the water. Can you guys kind of see the way it kind of swivels around all the way? And you see that the structures are actually very similar to the structures inside the fort. Now, what I did is I went ahead and I kind of followed these ridges to see, because I'm curious, I mean, is this right here an artificial, or is this a naturally causing effect? And so I started following the ridges, and I did find it kind of interesting because when I followed it to the edge of this rock bed over here, I know it looks like water, but I think this is actually a rock bed if you look all around. And right where the ridge enters the rock bed, there seems to be almost like a structure over here that seems to follow the contour of the ridge. And if you're to go all the way to the other side, similarly, you also see structure. Now, here's the thing. I'm not 100% sure if that is evidence of something being possibly superficial, because honestly, water or any kind of thing that might have been creating the ridges from the first place could also, in effect, create this visual display that I'm showing you, where you see kind of like a lighter landmass being shown. All right, now let me explain to you why I think, even though this does look interesting, why I don't think this is a fort. First of all, this article that, Express, Daily Mail, Earth, all these guys, they started publishing this article about this Moulton Bailey type fort, and they explicitly were quoting this professor. His name is Ashoka Tripathi. Sorry if I'm butchering the name. But he works for the Department of Archaeology at the University of Calcutta. And this is what he was quoted as saying in these articles. The patterns clearly show nothing we should expect from natural geomorphological formations found in nature. We clearly have here evidence of human engineering. Here's the problem. I double-checked these articles and tried to source where they got this quote. Well, all of these quotes come from another article from World News Daily Reports. And in this particular article, there are two scientists working on a NASA program called Lightbridge. Now, Lightbridge is basically where an airplane is going over, high altitude airplane is going over Antarctica multiple times and creating all types of different readings to try to figure out what is underneath the ice of Antarctica. So the reason why I'm telling you about this Icebridge program in this article is because this professor was talking, when he quoted about possible human remnants, he was talking about what he saw from the data of the Icebridge project, not this, Moulton Bailey like fort type thing. It was a different program. So I don't like it to see all these publications essentially putting this like fort type structure and saying that this is evidence of human structure, and then quoting a professor who's talking about a completely different program. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up to you guys. And so let me show you visually why I think this is possibly a geological process and not something that is a fort. So if we go to the Fort 3, this is another fort that we found. And you can see it has the same structures. And if you start following the ridges, and you can see that there are ridges that kind of envelop all around this complex, right? And it looks interesting from the sky, but as you follow the ridges, right? Let me show you what happens over here. The ridges, they just kind of fall off into this water base. And you see that it's very possible that whatever's creating this ridge type phenomenon, it could be water based. It could be that this is just cracks that are kind of falling into underneath a warmer stream of water underneath. And if you follow this to the other end, similarly, you'll see that, I'm sorry, it's quite a track over here, that it falls into this body of water. And this isn't the only evidence of these tracks possibly being created by water. Let me show you one more. I call this the fortified islands, because it does look like an entire city of fortification. So if you see all these rock that essentially protrude out of the ice, these are the ones that you're seeing these patterns around. And I think the reason why that's happening is because I think rock bed it tends to collect heat. And I think as the sun heats up these dark rocks, I think the ice underneath it starts melting, creating these puddles of water that essentially crack the ice from underneath. Now, I'm not a geologist. I'm just taking a guess here. But if there are geologists out there, or anthropologists who might understand this better, please, we would love your feedback on this. But if you follow the ice ridges all the way around, you'll see that it just literally almost dumps into these water type reservoirs. And let me show you what I mean by here. Here's another one where the ridges just go all the way, and then once again, there's water. It's like a water reservoir. So yeah, guys, I don't know. I don't think this is artificial, to be honest with you. I think it's just a natural formation. But that's not to say that there are not incredible things underneath their ice. and things that we actually discovered. And I want you guys to stay tuned, because you guys might be some of the first people to ever have access to these coordinates, to these what I think might actually be real human remnants under the ice. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna show that to you guys in just 1 second. Let me show you something just so you guys are aware what to be careful of. Look at this. I call this weird snake structure. You got to be very careful of what we're looking at, because even if something does look artificial, be aware of the location. Where is this happening? Because just north of this, you'll see human habitation. And this is just modern human habitation. You know, you can even see the picture of the tents. So what might seem like an artificial structure at first could be modern human occupation in Antarctica. So just be kind of careful when you take a look at this. But knowing that, let's look at our first interesting possible evidence of civilization. Now, I know this is not going to look like much at first, right? But what I'm trying to do is I'm looking at the outer edges of where the ice is slipping from the rock bed, because at these very edges is going to be kind of new discovered land. Essentially, maybe like 5 years ago, this was under ice and now it's under rock. So it's possible that it's more likely that you're going to discover something on rock bed that has yet to be uncovered. So as we look at these edges, I want you to take a look at what you see over here and tell me what you think this looks like. And like I said, it's not definitive. It's interesting, and I think it looks like a tower. It looks like a tower sticking out of the rock bed. So in and by itself, I wouldn't say this is much at all. But when I look over here, and this is where things got really, really interesting, guys. And I want you guys to, I'm just going to zoom in, and you guys can go through the coordinates over here, and I want you just to give your initial impression. Tell me what you guys think this is. Right over here. What does that look like? I think it looks like machine parts. I mean, you know, it's, if you look at the rocks around it, nothing is really as rocky and as degraded as this. Everything else is kind of like smoothed out all around. Like, look at the surface, the topography over here. Everything is smooth, as if the ice just kind of smoothed out the rock bed. But you get here and you got all kinds of strange structures. And look how serrated these lines are. And look how they kind of edge out. Look, it's all rectilinear to each other. And here's another one. Look, it's like serrated bars. And if you go right over here, look at this piece. I mean, come on. What the hell? I mean, what is that? What could that possibly be right there? You know, to me, it's not just slightly different color than the surrounding, but it has holes, like a hole inside. And if you look at the other parts, you see that the other parts also have all kinds of holes all around. Look. So to me, more so than a fort, this to me is possible evidence of human civilization. And look, I don't know how old this must be. I mean, this could be hundreds of thousands of years for all I know. I mean, this stuff, I'm not a geologist. I don't know how long it takes for a metal to degrade. Maybe it has to be younger than 100,000 years. But, you know, I'm keeping my mind open to the possibilities of this being very old. So I think this next thing I want to show you guys it's pretty amazing. I think it's even more amazing than the machine parts. Now, like I said, if you look all around the topography of this area, you see that everything looks very smooth, like it was just kind of waxed with a nice layer of like ice water. And then you get to this area, and it's almost as if the rock structure is not just lifted over here, but it's a different color. Do you see that? How it's kind of like a more of a grayish color, almost as if it's made out of different sediments. So I thought, okay, that's kind of interesting. So I decided to zoom in, and that's when things got really, really strange. Check this out. Like, what the hell? Like, am I really seeing this? Look at this. Look at the linear construction. It almost looks like the rocks that you find layered in some kind of like monumental foundation. And you go up here and you see how linear these rocks look and how square and rectilinear they look to each other. So I'm not a geologist. I'm wondering if it's possible that this could be natural, but at first sight, I'm thinking artificial. And I want you guys to, your guys' impression, the coordinates are over here. Just take a look around, see what you find. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But let me tell you, that's not the only thing in this area that we've discovered. I'm gonna go travel to a place I call, this is actually in a different area of Antarctica, but the evidence for human civilization is nonetheless just as compelling, I believe. Okay. Once again, if you guys want to visit, check out the coordinates over here. And tell me what you guys see over here. Now, at first, I thought, okay, maybe this is just stratification of the rocks and the rock shattering in a way that makes it look like it's an apartment complex, or it looks like it's some kind of square foundation. But then I came over here and I saw this piece. Now, I don't know if that's a digital artifact. It doesn't look like a digital artifact to me. It looks like some kind of box, like a perfect box within what is already kind of a strange structure that seems to have other rectilinear features around it. So once again, I would love to get input from geologists. And if you think that's weird, right? Check this out. Right next to it, we have these twin towers. And you can see that they're towering above because of the shadow. And look how rectilinear it is. You know, it almost, it's like, it looks really straight in terms of its dimensions. This one looks a little bit more triangulated. But what interested me so much is not that this was nearby these possible ruins, but that there's no other rocks like it. So if you go around and you check out if you survey the topography, I only see one rock or two rocks that look like towers, and they just happen to be right next to each other. I don't know. It's kind of weird, I think. Moving on, I wanted to get you guys' impression on this one. This is actually right next to it. Though this is one that I'm a little bit worried could be possible human encampment. So here are some weird, you know, at first I thought they looked like weird lights. It just that they're a lot brighter than the terrain around them. But the more I look at it, the more I think it might be some kind of human development that's going on right there. So like I said, if anybody knows what this is, or if this is possibly human tents, let me know, because right now, a lot of this is conjecture, and I'm trying to build a consensus for truth. Like I want to seek the truth, you know. I don't want to give you guys things that may be real, but you know, and I'm claiming that they're, you know, real, but they may not be real. Like, I don't want to do that to you guys. The last thing that I want to show you guys for this episode, but don't think that this is the last thing for Antarctica. We actually have something that's really, really cool for the second part of this episode. But for now, I want to show you this metal piece, or it looks like a metal piece, and it's not too far away from that location. And I can't quite 100% tell if this is just a stratification of the rock. It means a geological fracture type thing, but when I examine this close up, I mean, this is pretty, I mean, it looks sharp. It looks like you can almost cut somebody with that thing. And if I were to take a wild guess, to me, it looks like rusted metal of some sort, but it's tough to tell, you know, with these things. What is interesting is how close it is to the other ancient building type foundation. But yeah, guys. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is natural? Do you guys think that this is artificial? You know, let your friends know about this. You guys might be some of the first people to ever have access to these coordinates. So have fun with it. And on the second part of this episode about Antarctica, we're going to go a little bit deeper about what happened with Admiral Byrd, and is there an underground base and possibly UFOs? And if there is, I believe that we might have actually captured a second UFO in Antarctica. So please, guys, if you enjoy this episode, tune in again. Just go ahead and click part 2. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. This is Felipe Osorio, signing out.